Good morning, good morning, good morning, community. How are you? Janine Macklin here, transformational speaker, wealth guide, and catalyst. Good morning to the West Coast. It's probably not even morning. It's probably further along, but the way the days are going, it seems no, it's morning, 9:21. Yay! And good afternoon to the East Coast. Maybe some of you are heading into lunch or at lunch, or maybe you're just at home. So today is Wednesday Wisdom, and as I was thinking of what wisdom to share with you, and as I look at so much that's unfolding in the world, one of the questions that came to mind for you to ask yourself is, what's working for you? Because it's so easy to look at, this isn't working. Maybe things really are on sale. I just figured they were marked up in the beginning and the sale is just marking it back down to the price it was supposed to be anyway. So I rarely respond to the sales. I just don't believe it. But it feels so insensitive. I'm like, why are you pushing for people to go buy and spend and get this and that? It's going to be marked down. It's going to be this, because they know that what appeals to our unconscious, not our conscious, our unconscious is this need to spend, to buy, to assage whatever unease. those that we care about, even if we're not physically able to do it? And how do we connect and not have it cost us so much money? Because even if you're okay, see, I understand some people right now are fine during this time. We had our money and our savings and our emergency funds, and we're cruising along. And some of us, like myself, still have clients that we're working with and that we see. Experience is. Then there's others of you who are at the point and we're going to rent a hall or go to somebody's house and have this dance off. We're going to have this big old thing. And then every year for his birthday, he gets 5 or 6 of his friends together and they go out to dinner and laugh and talk and eat hamburgers. Who goes to a restaurant to eat hamburgers? But anyway, but that couldn't happen. So I had to begin to think, what could I do differently to make it special for him? So he at least remembered that he had a 16th birthday. It's like our graduates. So I reached out to people who knew him, who I know who loves him and cares. One, and then for two, his birthday fell on a Tuesday, and I specifically wanted something on his birthday. So where can you make some changes? Now, how much did that cost me? It cost me $162 for a dance floor. $162. The party we were planning last year easily would have cost me like $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. rent a hall. He's going to invite all his friends. I was going to invite all my friends. We would have had food. We would have had a cake, all of that. $160 for the dance floor. They're so cool. You know what they wanted to eat? He said, Mom, is it working for you spending money on parties and dresses and clothes and shoes and technology and going and going and doing and doing? Does that work? Because part of what we've learned during this time is a lot of what we're doing, we don't have to do. I've got a friend of mine, they're not even friends. We knew of them when Ian was in, what do they call it, middle school. And he keeps sending us pictures on Facebook and we keep watching them. They took a tour. Hey, Crystal Foster, how are you? I've been having a really bad connection too. I really think whatever they're doing on the planet with the 5G is impacting our connectivity. I can't to try and get connection. And that doesn't even last that long. But anyway, good to see you. How are you? Are you safe? Are you at home? Are you working? Are you going into the office? How are you? But I really want you to look at right now, you have that opportunity to like put a telescope on how you're handling the money you do have. How are you handling the money you do have? What changes have you made now that's working for you? Different than what you were doing before. And here's the thing, I want you to notice what works for you so you keep doing it. See, if you keep doing now going forward what you're doing, if you keep doing going forward what you're doing now, as relates to your money and the choices you're making, you will begin to position yourself in a different way. I have to trust you're thinking twice before you're spending money. After trust, you're thinking, what's the most strategic way for me to use whatever money I have? If it was a stimulus package, if it's your unemployment check, you've got to be strategic. I can't imagine you're not writing down everything that needs to be paid, beginning to prioritize what needs to be paid, and then making the calls to negotiate what you can pay. Those 3 steps. So that whatever money is paid out, there's still money that's left to be able to do what you need to do to take care of your family, pay for your utilities, maybe put gas in your car, or get a tap card, or pay for the subway. So I want you to notice what you're doing that's working. Because there's a part of us, that's so wanting to, I just want to go back to the way it was. I want to go back to the way it was. But what I want you to capture is what's happening right now may be more valuable and of more and greater consequences for you going forward. Because what you were doing back then was based on an old system. We're not getting that system back again. Sorry, I thought I saw someone coming up to my door. So what we're doing now is becoming our new system. So I want you to pay attention to what's working, what shifts you're making that you say, oh, I can do this, or I can fix food this way, or we can put everything in a crock pot and feed the whole family for a couple of days. We're walking and exercising more. My gym isn't opening. I'm constantly, and I'm at a deadline, deciding am I going to go back to the other gym they said I could go to, or just do it on my own. Because that's like it's like $35 a month. It's something, but it's $300 a year. And I thought, I might be able to just keep that. But there's something for me, I know about getting up, getting in my car, going to the gym, seeing the familiar faces. Something about that motivates me to get what I need done. Because otherwise, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm home alone. So then I'm walking on the streets alone. I'm exercising alone. I'm working alone. So that was part of what the gym meant to me. And that $300 was worth it for me around health care. So, and I started walking. Some of you have followed me. I've walked the 4 miles up to the hill where we go camp hiking. I've walked the Rose Bowl. That's my 3.5 miles. And then last week I hit my shin and did not realize the impact of that to the point that my entire right leg has been swollen. It's bruised on the outside. It really became scary the other day. And surprisingly, my friends on Facebook was like, first of all, you need to stop. Second of all, you need to elevate it and just rest over the weekend. Get you a martini, get you that drink we were telling you about on Facebook last week, and relax. And I did. So I haven't exercised in like 4 or 5 days. And I didn't change my eating to accommodate that. But it's all fine. So I'll have to decide, will I continue to be my motivator for the gym? Or do I sign up for another gym? It's just that the one they're going to send me to is, at least if I measured it, it's got to be like a 15-minute drive, where my other gym was like 7 minutes. So those are the choices I'm making. And I can pay it. It's not about paying it. It's really about going forward. I really look at like, okay, this year is a wrap as far as I'm concerned. The next year and the next year, the years that we're going to have to take to recover from this experience is what I'm looking at. And so in that regard, that $300 in my account may be more beneficial spent that way. Or maybe even considering, things are on sale now at $300 or $400 if I was to get a elliptical trainer or something here in the house. But, I'm thinking if I could just walk up that hill, those 4 miles on a consistent basis, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, that's 16 miles walking. That's not bad. So why not? So I want you to look at what's working. Don't be so quick to say, I'll be glad when this is over so I can go back. Why do we want to go back? When we really look at what's happening now, was what we're going back to working for us? Really? The way we were spending, the way we were eating, the way we were not taking care of our health, not exercising, not getting enough sleep, not to mention not spending time with our loved ones. Quality time. Quality time. So the wisdom today is to really look inside your life and see what's working. And make notes about it, because it's probably different than what you used to do. So then when we get ready to move forward, and we're already moving forward, you can say, okay, well, we used to do this. This is what we're going to do now. Or I used to do this with my money. This is what I'm going to do now. What did you learn during this time about your money? We've been in this going on 4 months. March 13th for me, April 13th, May 13th, June 13th, and April 13th is like 2 weeks away. So I'm claiming it too. So what have you learned that works for you? How have you learned your own self-care, taking care of yourself? What are you doing? What does that look like for you? Sleeping, eating, but more importantly, your thinking and your thoughts. there's so much that's going on that I think we really have to kind of pull back. I think I looked at the news a little bit. We know they're going to pull back. The surges are going up, which is only, we only anticipate that. As long as we don't have a vaccine and people are going to go out and do what they're going to do, the surges are going to go up. They're going to pull us back some, which only makes sense. My biggest thing is, can we get the kids in school? Because if we get the kids in school, some of the parents will have some relief. So, and that's, now we're in July. That's next month. Next month, the kids go back to school. So it really becomes imperative to look at what's working or what's not working. And here's the thing. What happens if the kids don't go back to school? When I'm talking about my son going to school, my son goes to a private school, so they're going to go, above and beyond. But I'm also listening to the public schools to see what LA Unified is going to do or Pasadena Unified is going to do. And they're not really sure. We're looking at alternating days at our school. They're looking who wants to go to school all the time, who wants to go to school half time and go home half time, and who just wants to stay home. I don't think any of our kids want to stay home. They need that connection, that bumping up against each other. I don't know how that's going to work. I suggested to the school that they put circles on the gym, the football field out there, so they could sit down in their circles with their group and move from one group to another group, I guess. So because they need that. It's probably the first time my son, who 2 years ago was thinking homeschool was the bomb, and I didn't know he had a survey too, and I had a survey, and I said, well, let's talk about the survey I got. What do you want to do? He said, I fill mine out. I said, oh, what did you say you wanted to do? I want to go to school every day. I'm like, but the virus, whatever, I'll put my mask on, but I want to go to school every day. So that's what we're looking at. But again, he's in a private school. What are the public schools going to do? And what are you going to do as we move toward just thinking about it? Because I know you're still in summer. I know you still want some downtime to enjoy your family. But if we just think about what's going to happen next, what have you learned that's working now that's going to be able to transition into what's going to come? What have you learned about yourself? What ways are you treating your health differently? What ways are you willing to treat your money differently? What are you learning now that you can make a list? Janine, this is the new thing and it works. Janine, this is what works. This is what works. And you identify those things for yourself each day as you go along and know that that's becoming your new normal. And we can't fill it all in because, like I said, we're waiting on parents, moms, dads to return to work. You always hear me say the state, the county, the federal government. That's a lot of people. Then we're waiting on the teachers to return back to work. So there's no going back because school won't be the same. There's no going back. So pull out the nuggets of what's working, what feels good, what you know you want to keep doing going forward. Look at how you're handling your money. Look at, are you going out for walks like my people around here? They go walks in the morning, like 6:37 in the morning. Everybody's taking their dogs and it's cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Then they go in the afternoon, then they go in the evening. What routines have you created that work, that you guys do maybe as a family, or the kids do alone, or husband and wives do, or partners do? Start tracking that now, because that will probably become your new normal. So that's my wisdom for the day. Look inside your own life and see what's working. What's working for us is to just share the space. He and I just navigate the space. He's in one room and I need space. I go in another room, and he gets on my nerves. I just go outside and enjoy nature. I go for a walk. If the biggest thing that gives me the blues more than anything else is just internet. Can y'all go back to work? I make my money on the internet. Y'all go back to work and use the county, the state, and the federal government's internet. I keep getting bumped off. I'm in the middle of a challenge of trying to get things posted, and I can't get my Wi-Fi to connect. I can't get the internet thing. I can't even get my hotspot on my phone to consistently connect. So I'm not sure what the government's doing with the 5G, but it's something. Be sure it's something. We don't know the whole truth, and we don't have the whole stories. But if you get intuitive hits or your intuition gives you some ideas, I would say trust it, believe it, and follow it, because it's probably picking up more than you know. So for now, have a great day. It's Wednesday. Think now about what you want for your 4th. I'm sure that's going to come under scrutiny too. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the way my hair is. I had it done. I'm like, okay, what's it doing? But I'm sure that's going to come under scrutiny too with all of the other, look at that dad and his daughter in the stroller and the dog. That's going to come under scrutiny too with all the political conversations that's happening. Monuments are coming down. I mean, what is happening on this planet is really radical. Whoever thought monuments would come down, that statues would come down? I never saw that in my going forward of what America would look like. So I suspect more things will be coming down, and there'll be some challenge to, what is the 4th of July really all about? What are we celebrating? Because that's what we do now. We question everything to see what has validity to the dream of how we want to see America be, and that includes everybody. And so if you've got, this person up here who was a slave owner, you've got this person over here who was buying and selling slaves. Okay, well, we've lived that memory enough. We've lived that life enough. Let's take those down and put up something else that is reflective of who we are and what we're evolving into. So you define for you what your 4th of July is going to look like. We've got some cloudy weather, I think. They say it's going to be 89. I'm going to lay somewhere and relax. 4th of July is Saturday, but I love fireworks. So hopefully we'll have some somewhere around here. So anyway, just some thoughts for you to think of. Dig out your wisdom, what's happening in your world, in your life that's working. Keep track of it. Know it, because going forward, that very thing that's working may be the very thing you're going to keep doing to keep going on through this pandemic. And here's the interesting thing, is once they get a vaccine, then it's going to be a matter of us trusting the vaccine. But I guess if you get sick and you have the symptoms, then at least you'll know that, okay, I can go and get this shot and deal with it. So far, I haven't had any symptoms. I went to the nail salon yesterday. Yes, I did. There was only 2 people in a salon that normally has 8 people sitting in it, in the booths, 4 people at the tables, and 4 people waiting. When I went, there was only 2 people, myself and another woman. All the seats were separate. There's only 3 people in the shop, the manicurist, the stylist themselves. They have masks, and they have those larger masks that they have you put on. And there's not a lot of conversation like it used to be. All that chatty we used to do. No, it's like get in, get out, keep your appointments. So I really believe that a lot of those kind of changes that they're making are going to continue. Standing in line at the store is going to continue. Making appointments for your hairstylist. Men are making appointments for their barbers. That's going to still continue. At least that's what's happening here. I know other states have opened up, but I suspect people will have to make their own choices. I really don't want to be inside with anyone yet. I'd rather be outside in the open, breathing God's air and knowing that God is sending new fresh air into my body in every moment. But those are the choices we're going to have to make. And those are the things that we have to be aware of. All this that we're doing isn't going to just fall away and we're like, okay, we're going to go back to what? We're going to keep moving forward. So take good care. I've taken up more than your time. Excuse me. Have a great lunch on the East Coast, great brunch and morning on the West Coast, and look in your life and see what's working for you. Make a note of it. You're doing good. Hang in there. Don't give up. Don't even think about it. We're in this together. You're here for a reason. You matter and you're important. Take good care. Ladies, come on. We're getting ready to hop into the challenge. www.createmywealthplan.com. Go there. Sign up. Get in the conversation, because we're going to have to do some different things with our money going forward. I look forward to seeing you. And when you get in there, say your infinite prosperity.